G'day, Bon Cloud. How you going, Bon Cloud? I haven't seen you for a while. I'm playing in a 5-minute tournament. What happened there? Oh, I've got to make the bookmarks smaller. Hide bookmarks. There you go. Then you got a bigger board to watch. Good to see you, Bon Cloud. What have you been up to? I've got two good friends. One's called Bon Cloud Nakamura, and I've got another one called a new friend called Carlson. Yeah, that's right. So I've got my Bon Cloud Nakamura friend, and then I've got a friend called Carlson, and Carlson is his nickname is Spaz so and so, and his real name is Carlson. Yes. His name is Alexander Carlson, and he comes from Norway, just like Magnus. Isn't that cool? He comes from Norway, just like Magnus. I think that was a bad move, because I can now play knight here and threaten his bishop. It's a real worry for him, actually. Where does his knight go? I just take that bishop. But why should I? Why should I? Correct move is probably rook to E1. Careful. Knight check. Knight check alert. Knight check alert. Bon Cloud would see that, wouldn't you, Bon Cloud? There goes the coin. And just push the pawn up. Just to control a few squares. A few sexy squares. And there's a weakness there, so we'll attack that weakness, the pawn on D6. Where's he going? He's going over there. He's full of tricks, isn't he? I'll tell you what, he's going to run out of tricks soon because his knight's got nowhere to go. And I don't really need that one. Gee, there's a good check. I like that one. Check. I've got to check here. And trap your bishop. You just lost the bishop. Check again. He's lost that one. Just move over here, and everything looks good. About 1,000 pieces extra. And where's he going? I might as well push the pawns. It's always fun. It's a pretty big attack. He blocked his bishop. Well, that's good. So now all I've got to do is pile up on this move. And that move. That does nothing. That one that does nothing. I'll take that off. If you want to give me pawns for nothing, I'll take them. I'll take all your pawns for nothing. Okay, I'll get the knight working. I'll take that rook. Where's that rook going? Where's that rook going? Okay. Now we go over here, we'll take that rook. You don't mind changing rooks. Just threaten the knight. Threaten the knight. Threaten the little knight. Where's his knight going? There. Oh, come in here. Lock him up. Lock him up. Tie him up in knots. He can't move anything. He's almost in total zugzwang. It's not even a move, is there? He's just pushing a pawn. I'll take that too. I'll take everything. Pretty bad. Anyway, this is a 5-minute tournament. We've got 87 minutes left, Bomb Cloud. Otherwise, we'd give you a few games. We'll just attack that knight. Where's that knight going? Bomb Cloud knows that this position's lost, but my opponent doesn't know. He's still trying to work it all out. Bomb Cloud knows it's lost though. Bomb Cloud knows. Oh, there you go. He's lost a piece there. Well, we'll take the knight. It's a good piece. Oh, he's taken that one. We'll take that one too. There's a check down there. Look at that. I can get a check. There's another check. And that should be mate. There you go. Next match. That was easy, wasn't it, Bomb Cloud? This morning I opened up with the French National Anthem. And now we're playing the old chill vibes and relaxing gaming music on Matistica's channel. This is Matistica's YouTube compilation. He writes music, the old Matisticus. He's a friend of my channel. We'll just play Bishop E2. Castles. F4, I suppose. Just try to restrict the play of our opponent. Oh, just play Bishop there. Off, I suppose. A double threat. Queen takes pawn and pawn hits knight. Except he's got that. He's got temporary respite. This is where you just got to be patient and you just win. Just be patient. You win easily, don't you, Nakamura? Nakamura knows. He's been in these positions before, haven't you, Bomb Cloud? That's right. Just move your bishop back. Push your pawns. Threatening castles. Making way for the knights to go in the middle. And they're all powerful, those knights in the middle, so I think that's where they belong. It could be even more stronger with double rooks. The double rooks on the open file. Okay. Well, I can pin that knight there. Pin that knight. He's pushing a pawn past. It's okay. Well, we could take that. Because the bishop's protected. So it's not like the bishop's not protected. And rook takes pawn does threaten something, doesn't it? Rook checks is good too. I like rook checks. I like rook checks. And rook takes bishop check. It's a nice clearing move. Take the knight. All the pieces just seem to work together beautifully. And there's a check here. And get our knight working. He's got a check. I'll go here. Okay. Well, we give him checkmate now. Check. And mate. There we go. Next match. That was easy. That was GK7. It's only 1351 rating. Number 12 of 457 players. C5. Take that. Encourages him to push the pawn. I've actually pushed the pawn myself in these positions, and it's not good because you get in all sorts of mess when you lose your queen. Okay. I've got superior development. My bishop's shit. A complicated position, but it's certainly better for black. There's a pawn bishop 5. And knight takes pawn, of course, which is even stronger. He's taking that one. We'll take the bishop and attacks the rook. And we'll take the rook, because that attacks such and such. And we'll take the king. We'll attack that pawn. I'll take that pawn. And we've got 2, 4, 6 pawns against 5 and an attack. Which augurs well for the game. I'll just take that off. I can hear is it probably So we've got 73 minutes left in this tournament, and we're coming ninth of 505 players. Playing Ganesha Ali 2020, and he's 1766 rating from Indonesia. And best thing to do is offer these guys a pawn. And the beautiful idea about that move is that we just got time to play a bit of bullshit. Could take that, couldn't we? But you know what? Why should we? Why should we take it? It's not threatening anything. Next match. G'day Shotgun Sarawak 5000. G'day NFDS1. Playing in a tournament, coming 10th of 563 players. Looking for an opponent. 64 minutes left on the clock to win this tournament. And we can analyse the games during there, so we can help you improve your chess. For instance, these players are around about 1328 to 1800, 2000 or something. Yeah, so he plays d4. He allows me to take that pawn. So it's a Sicilian. I'll play knight c6. The whole idea of knight takes, well, the b pawn can take back. And we're just going to play knight f6 now. And we're just attacking the e pawn. We're developing our pieces and trying to attack at the same time. So we're going to play bishop here. And the whole idea is we're putting pressure on the e pawn. And beginners have trouble with these concepts of once they're attacked, they get scared, right? And if they see a higher rated player, they get even more scared. So while they're scared, we'll play queen here because he's scared. And we're threatening queen takes bishop. We're threatening bishop takes knight check as well. Okay? So two threats. So bishop takes knight check, and now he blunders. We can play queen takes bishop, or we can play knight takes knight. Well, knight takes knight's nice because the beautiful thing about that is you attack the queen, still attacking the bishop, and you're threatening knight takes c pawn, check, wins the rook. Okay, so now we've got a choice. What do we take? Well, in this position, why not just take the bishop, right? And we're a clear piece up, and winning the game with a clear piece up. And now we just move our queen back here and keep the pin, threaten to double the pawns for the end game because you're a piece up and you're headed towards an end game, and he's got a bad game. So you just change queens. He's got double pawns here, and then when you take this pawn, you attack two more pawns. And you're already a piece up and you're just going for more material. So it's really logical that, you're going to crush the guy without even having to do any hard work. No work's required. And it's only a beginner. He's only 1328. So now you've got a choice here in this position. You can take knight takes c pawn. That threatens another pawn. Or you can take the f pawn. Well, the c pawn's doubled, so I'm very tempted to take the f pawn, and I don't worry about anything here because I can still play pawn here and get my knight out. See, I give my knight a square to exit to. Okay, so now he's not threatening anything, so I just move my king up one square, develop my king. That gets my castle ready to work. Okay, so now that's the square that I planned to go to initially, but this one might be better. Yeah, this move might be a better move because it actually threatens a pawn, and it also threatens this move, which is a knight fork. And it attacks a rook and a bishop. So again, we take more pieces off. And so he can't take the pressure, so he resigns. Next match. Playing number 6. We're number 6 now, coming 6th place of 591 players. And we've won 7 games in a row. So, as I say, they're not a really high standard, but it gives these guys a chance to play a FIDE Master too. You know, like in the normal course of events on chess.com, they wouldn't get the chance to play a FIDE Master if they're very low rated. So we take the pawn. It's more instructive than anything else. This is not about winning a tournament, big noting yourself. This is about just trying to play instructive chess. So playing a Sicilian line, we'll play the old, what's it called? The Naidor Polygaevsky. A lot of big words there. Well, pawn to king 5 has been played here in this position. And this guy's 1741. Look, he knows his theory. So we play queen to king 2 and we hold the pawn because if we, and now we're castle. Apparently you've got a castle here. That's when all hell breaks loose, I think. So this gets into a complicated position. It's very, very difficult for these players to play these complicated positions in chess, right? Because they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand the positional ramifications of what's taking place. So unless he's referring to a chess engine or something, he probably doesn't understand the position. Maybe he does. Maybe he's thinking back, oh, what happens here next or something, and what's my best move? He might know more about it than me, but he's thinking a lot. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing from his perspective that he's thinking a lot because it's a really difficult position. For instance, it looks like you can just play queen takes pawn, but after queen takes queen and knight takes pawn, for instance, here I can play knight takes pawn. See that? So I'm attacking his queen, right? And now, what does he do? What does he do? This is the question. What move can you play here in this position, right? And then he resigned. Now, why does he resign? He resigns because if pawn takes knight, queen checkmate, okay? Also, if queen takes pawn, queen takes queen and knight checkmate, okay? So two different checkmates. Okay, next game. That was a very instructive game on the Sicilian Knight of Polygaevsky or whatever. Okay. So, e4. I only remembered a little bit about the opening theory, but what's the prize for winning a tournament? The prize is that we're just playing. We're not after a prize. All we're doing is we're trying to teach people in the chat how to play chess. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. So we play c3. The whole idea is to play d4 because people have been watching me playing chess against 2,200 players and 2,100 players, 2,300 players, but they haven't had the benefit of me explaining to them how to play against people of their own standard, what to do, right? Okay, so I've got a choice here. He's retreated his bishop. I've developed all my pieces. Now I look at the position, I think, what's he going to do? Well, bishop here is a natural move to pin the knight to put pressure on the centre pawn. Okay, so what can I do to prevent that? Well, I can just play h3, okay? So we look at this position and the position's balanced. It's probably a book position. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a book position. There are balances and counterbalances in the position. One would think that the white squares are weak. These white squares look a little bit weak. But they can be patched up quickly by black because it's the early stages of the game. My army is not ready to launch an attack at this stage. There's insufficient weaknesses and I have insufficient development. My plan is to castle, play knight c3 and knight d5 in this position. Of course, if my opponent plays other moves to stop me, well then I'll reconsider my move order. But for the moment I'm castling. I want to bring my major piece into play with rook e1. I want to play knight c3. Still want to play knight d5. I like a knight on the b file to d2 with the idea of b4 too. this is another plan, okay? For the moment, I'm just going to play rook e1, just a quiet move, and just see how my opponent handles the pressure. I could move faster too, because when you're playing like Django Bacchus from the United States here, one of the things that you like to do is you like to I like to prod and probe too. I like to prod and probe. Okay, so but the natural move is knight c3. It is the natural move, so I'm going to play the natural move, knight c3. I can always go back to e2 and come out on g3 and stuff like that. Okay, right. All right. So now knight to knight 5 is a natural move. See if I can get him to make a weakness of some sort. I like him to make a weakness. There we go. He's made a weakness. Okay, so now I play knight back. So that's all I was after. I was just after a little probing move to try to get a little weakness out of him. When you push pawns in front of your king, you can create weaknesses. You could argue that I've got a weakness too in my position. You could argue that. Interesting position. I don't really want to play it. I don't really want to play that move. It's not a bad move, bishop here. Okay, it's not a bad move. Oh, he's got knight there. I can chase it away. Oh. It's not a good move. Not a good move. So I played a hasty move. If anything, my knight g5 move was not good. My knight g5 move was not good. I'm going to play pawn here. I didn't like knight c4. That's what I was worried about. Knight c4 was a total refutation to my plan, right? Knight c4. Okay. I want to leave his knight on a4. I might even be able to attack it in some lines. He's trying to eliminate a piece near my king. I'm going to take it. I could play knight here. But I won't. I'll take that. My next plan is to play pawn here so I can exchange bishops. I like to exchange bishops in this position because I was always worried about the black bishop. And remember, his knight looks bad. So I'm very happy to take that silly bishop off. And look at his pawn structure. His pawn structure looks terrible. He wants to play bishop takes pawn. Well, I can just play rook e3 and the pawn is held along there. So there's no worries. My position's very strong. There's nothing that he can do at the moment that causes me any real big worries. Yeah, I thought f5 might have been a good idea for him. I can play queen to d4 now. I've got queen to d4. Is he threatening rook to g4? I don't think so. He's got a lot of pieces working, but I'm playing queen to d4 anyway, because I want to play queen takes b pawn and attack his knight. If I can start smashing all his pawns up, he could get into a real lot of trouble. He might go for the one-shot one, and now he's going to defend. Well, that gives me a chance to play f4. And now if I'm not attacking on the side of the board, I'm now attacking in the middle of the board. Right, so I'm the one with the attack now. Instead of him threatening something, I can threaten something. Well, it's probably a good idea to just push a pawn. Yeah, let's push a pawn in the middle. Everything is supporting the pawn push. Our knight on c3 is defending the pawn on d5. Just got to watch our clock. We've got queen takes pawn there. We do have knight. We can move our queen back one square and play knight up. We can play rook to g3, threatening pawn takes pawn and checkmate. That'll worry him. The whole idea is you've got to try to worry your opponent in these types of positions. He took the pawn off, so I recaptured. Now I've got queen e4, queen d3. I've got rook on the a file to f1. I've got lots of moves. I can push a pawn, threatening a checkmate. Oh, there we go. I can push a pawn, threaten a knight. He takes a pawn, I'll take a knight. Knight's bigger than a pawn. I'll just keep taking. I'll go back here, hold everything tight. And we won by timeout. Next match. He actually played well and defended well. He saw quite a few of the threats. He underestimated the power of my centre. And he didn't have the courage of his convictions in continuing his kingside attack. And that was probably the correct way for him to play the position. So I'm playing bishop b6. I usually play that in this position. The whole idea is I like to follow up with queen e7 like this. And just a simple d6 and, oh here it is, and then reroute my knight via d7. Pawn here, knight to d7, knight f6. Right, just knight f6, get the pieces out. And you've just got a good game. And that's all you're after in chess. You're after a good game. And nothing complicated, we just castle. And what's he doing there? Well, he's threatening that thing. I can play knight f5. I can play knight there. Play knight there. Just knight b file to d7. I can take with a pawn. I like to take with a knight here, actually. I know it looks a bit strange, but it's got a threat. I'm going to play rook e8. So I'm just trying to like little weakening moves, and I'm threatening knight in the b file to takes d pawn and e5. He's going there. Okay, so I'll just play knight here. Doesn't do anything exceptional. I want to play knight f5, and I want to play g3. That's correct. And now I can swing this knight. I've got to get this knight going. I can play a4 here, a5. Still want to, you can't play knight takes pawn on that knight because queen takes holds the knight. I've got to check on d5. I'll just attack his pawn over there, let him worry about it. I'm only playing like this because he's a beginner. Then I come back and hit his bishop and put my knight on a good square. I'll play knight here. It's a complicated move, and it's probably good for black. It attacks his queen. His knight's on h5, and in chess, the Springer Umrunda brings Shunda. Knight on the side of the board brings disaster. And as you can see, he has not got a great position out of this. It's he's looking at it and saying, well, what the hell is this move? And it's because he didn't expect it. That's basically it. He just did not expect it. Okay? And the whole idea is if black's got... Now I want to play g6. Why do I want to play g6? Well, I want to open up lines of attack. I don't care if I play pawn takes pawn. I'll play pawn takes pawn and king h1 and get my pieces working as fast as possible, right? So that's what I'll do. I'll get my pieces working as fast as possible. And I'm actually threatening... Oh, he takes it. Okay, so I can take back with the G pawn. So now I've got the F file, you see. So you can see if I'm not taking the G file, I'm taking the F file, but I'm playing on his weak squares, right? So he's going there. So now I've got bishop hits queen, right? That's a good move because it forces him to go to a particular square. Okay, so now what does he do? Well, I've got rook to f8. You see, just trying to put pressure on his position. I've got rook to f5, f4, I should say, rook to f4. Okay, so the whole idea is just to keep the pressure on him in this position. I can play queen back. I don't really want to play queen back because I want to stay on the h-pawn. But I can stay on the h-pawn by playing queen h4. Right? You still can't play f3 because I can take it off. Right? So he can't play f3. So as long as I play this move, I can now still double my castles. Right? Double my castles. And I can also retreat my bishop threatening rook g4. Okay? I had my breakfast. Yes, I did, dusting and flying. It was a bit late to reply to your message. Shotgun Sarawak, NFDS, Boncloud, Nakamura, they've all been in the channel. I was on stream earlier on today, and now I can just threaten to win the queen now. I can play bishop hits castle. Okay, that threatens a castle. And it also threatens rook g4 wins the queen. So now all I want to do now is just take the castle off. Right, so I'll take the castle. Hold on, do I take the castle or take the bishop first? If I take the castle, the bishop can take back. How strong is my knight? I don't know. But he might be able to get a good game. Should I take the bishop or should I take the... because I can take the rook next move. Take the bishop, rook takes, then bishop takes. No, just take the rook. My knight's pretty good at this stage. Right, so now I'll double the rooks up on the f-pawn. Okay, so now we've got the rooks doubled on the f-pawn. I'll play queen to h3. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm on the knight. That's why I'm doing it. I'm actually on the knight down here. So I move my rook. I can play rook here, hit the bishop, and now I'm on the knight as well. So that's a good move. That actually threatens. Rook takes bishop. Okay, so we can take his bishop and then take his knight. right? So we take his bishop. He's got no checks. And then we take his knight. So we win a piece. And now we've still got the attack. That's the beautiful thing about it. Not only have we got a piece, but we've still got the attack. So now we can play knight takes pawn. We can play rook takes rook. We can play queen checks. Queen checks is a nice move. And now we can just pin that rook against the king. And we can just take the rook whenever it suits us. There's nothing he can do. He's all pinned and tied up. And there's just nothing he can do. So we've got all the time in the world to do whatever we want to him, right? Next match. We're number 5. We're coming 5th now at 712 players. We've got 38 minutes and 43 seconds to win the tournament. Okay, we've won 10 games in a row. And we're now playing Pit Bull Russ, 1366 from Ukraine. So we'll play d5. And we'll just recapture with the queen. So all we're going to do is just play solid moves like queen to a5, knight f6, and we're just going to play solid moves and just try to win the game. Castle. And we could take the knight. There we go. Mainly because these guys, because they're at this level, this level that they're playing at, they don't understand chess very well, right? That they can't see anything, so it does make it a bit easy for us. Okay, so it makes it really hard for them. We can just play queen to f5. That threatens the h pawn. Okay, he's got double pawns. Threatens knight takes knight. And now we'll just take that h pawn down there, right? Get closer to the king. Okay. The threat now is just simply bishop c4. Silence, bishop c5. And he'll probably make a rook move. He takes with the bishop. Well, we'll take that off because he's got to take with the queen. Okay, so king to b8. We noticed the pawn was on prise. And now what we really want to do is we want to play knight to d5 and he stops that. Well, he stopped my threat. How dare he? I'm going to play knight here. I'm attacking his knight. I don't want him to have any rest. I don't want him to have a chance to attack me. I want to be able to attack him. So I'm quite happy to play moves. Knight takes knight. Now, if he plays pawn takes knight, yeah, so he takes with the queen. Now, I'm not interested in changing queens. His pawns are double. Oh, no, queen takes queen wins. I've got 7 pawns and he's only got 5. So let's go to the 7th rank. Okay, and we can just take that because we're 2 pawns up, aren't we? Yeah, that's right. We're 2 pawns up. And we're better in the endgame than him because we're a master, chess master. And there's a check. And that wins a pawn. He changes rooks. Well, he's got a lost endgame. I've got a 4 pawns to 2 on the king side. Move my king up. And it's just a matter of technique. Chess master's technique. And just a check. And then he must go backwards. And when he does, e5 wins. Okay? So this is just technical stuff. King and pawn endgames. 2 pawns up. Push your pawns. And you win. King takes. Now I've got 3 pawns to 1 on that side of the board. So that's where the win takes place. So we just keep pushing the pawns on that side of the board. And we'll just play pawn here. Fix the pawn chain on the level side of the board where the pawns are 3-3. recapture, and eventually what we plan to do is we'll just bang, we zero him. And so now, unfortunately, he can't do anything. So push this pawn, and I'll show you a technique. King takes pawn, and now all you have to do in this kind of position, if you want to, you can, say you're running short of time, you just run over here and you grab every single pawn for nothing, right? Every single pawn for nothing. That's right. So then he resigns. So we're coming second now of 742 players with 34 minutes. So it does look like we're going to win this tournament. At this stage, we're coming second of 743 players. The reason we're coming second, even though we've won 11 games straight, is because some of the players started earlier than us, like 40 minutes earlier. And so they've got more wins than me, right? So they've got a few more losses than me, but they've got more wins than me. So that's why they're coming in front of me. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll play Queen to D2, just play a powerful setup. We're playing LV Baggy, is 1069 rating. So we just set up a good solid position. We'll castle. We'll castle on the opposite side of the board so that we can conduct some sort of crazy attack. We'll take the knight. We shouldn't do this, but we're going to do it anyway, and we'll push the pawn on his knight. Okay, he just lost a rook. We expected that because his rating is only 1069 and he can't see the basics. And unfortunately, after bishop here, the game is over. Right, next match. So we're still coming second of 748 players. It might have been 745 before. And we're playing e4 again because we tend to win more games quicker against beginners when we're playing e4. So if you want to smash beginners, the e4 line is comes into the super critical lines of chess, right? Knight takes pawn. We're just getting our pieces working. We'll play pawn here. Whole point of the thing is we want to go into some sort of transition position where we have a fixed position where he's in a bind of some sort. He's avoided it. He's avoiding it. He's avoiding me. But he can't avoid me for too long. I'm attacking his D pawn. So all we're trying to do now is I'm going to try to create weaknesses in his position. He wants to give me the D pawn for a B pawn. Shouldn't do this. So why am I going to? I'm playing B3. It looks like a crappy move, but it is a crappy move, actually. Where's his knight going? He nearly loses the game here after rook e1. Rook e1. This is very, very dangerous position. Fraught with danger, actually, this position. Big question is, can he play d5? I don't know. I frankly don't know. I know he can't because I play pawn takes pawn to win his knight. So his knight on e5 is a problem for him, right? It's a problem for him. Beautiful thing about the rook on e1 is I can play bishop e6. So here he goes. This is a crappy move, I think. I can play just h3 and send his knight backwards into La La Land. So his knight's going into La La Land now. So once his knight goes over there, I'll take his knight off and attack his king. I'll be happy to go swapping pieces off and going off into the blue, wild blue yonder and trying to win things. How he got his bishop on e7? He's holding the pawn on d6. I'll never know. I'm going to have to play knight to d4 at some stage here. I'm going to have to play knight to d4 because I'll threaten to take that. So I just want to fix my game again. He's got a strong. I've just got to accept the fact that he can't do much there. I'm just got to accept it. Now that's the wrong move. Bishop takes bishop is too strong, isn't it? No, he's all right. He can just get away with it. I can take his bishop. I've got f5. He expected me to play knight takes 4. He's got a queen checks, which is a trap move. One of those simple little traps that these players like to get hold of. But now this is the pawn that I'm really after. I'm after the e6 pawn. And he's given it to me. He's pinned my knight, but now I can unpin my knight. No, he can attack that one. Doesn't matter. I can still play that move. Okay, so that's all right. So now I'm attacking his. I'm still threatening pawn takes pawn check. Now he's attacking my queen, my knight, but I've got rook c1 and I just hold the knight. So now he still hasn't got any attack on my position. No, there's no breakthrough attack. And now I've got that knight takes pawn, attacks a castle. It's annoying. It really is annoying. It's an annoying move. Also, because my knight can go back to d4 and go back on f5. Okay, so it's not really good for him. Yeah, so I'm going to move my knight back here again and head towards the f5 square. And I want to thank, I just missed the thank you. I saw someone come in. They might have followed the channel. So I just want to thank that person that just came into the channel and followed my channel or I don't think someone subscribed. If they did, I want to thank them. But I just missed the message. I tried to look at it very quickly. And I had plenty of time. I've got 2 minutes 36 seconds. My opponent's got 1 minute and 5. With 748 players. We're coming second place now. Okay. So now we're going to work out a way. How do we win this position? Okay, so what do we need to do to win this position? Well, I think the logical move in this position is try to eliminate that knight. I'd like to eliminate that knight. But also, I'd like to eliminate that knight. That knight's very powerful on e4. So if I can get rid of that knight, white's just got a restricted, black's got a restricted position and a bad structure. Well, that's a very bad move to put the knight on the side of the board. I should be happy to take this knight. I will take that knight. Black has got some counterplay on squares. Have to be very cautious. I've got a penetrating move. Queen here. Don't know how good it is. He's got rook hits. He's got king. He can't play king f7. He can play knight g6. Can I get a counter attack against him? If he attacks me, he drops his c pawn. It looks like a good penetrating move. Okay, so it looks like a decent move. Just gain a white square. Put the question to your opponent. What are you going to do about that? It's just a standard question. What are you going to do about that? Okay, so what we want to do is just penetrate the position. Tie him up in knots somehow. He wants to change queens. Well, in that position, it probably is good to change queens, but we'll just be cautious. If we change queens, we want to make sure that he can't pin us, attack any of our pieces. So we're going to attack his queen, retake with the rook. Now notice we didn't allow bishop there because the knight's not pinned there, you see. And now I can move my knight back here, and that stops his knight entry squares. Except for one move I overlooked, a huge move I overlooked. Got double rooks. I overlooked that he can win my e pawn. So I've got to take his c pawn. Don't like it, but he's missed it. I've got to play. How do I improve the position now? It's the e pawn I've got to be careful of. I'll go for the c pawn. I'm going for the c pawn, and I won on time. Fortunately, if I was playing a much stronger player, I could have been in trouble in the endgame. I'm coming second of 806 players now, so I've gone from 700 to 800 odd players. I'm coming second. I've won 13 games in a row, and we've got 22 minutes and 36 seconds left. I hope you're enjoying the tournament with me. G'day, Eamon160. I'm very well, thank you. And Dusting and Flying, thank you, my dear friend. Yes, I'm happy with the way I'm playing. So 13 games in a row, even though they're weaker players, the point is we're trying to show instructive chess so that people like Dusting and Flying can learn. So we're playing knight h6 because the pawn's attacked. So I played a bad move order there because this is a very bad game for white in this type of position. Right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to eliminate that stupid bishop because that bishop's really deadly. It's causing me awful concern, all right? Because it's I've identified the most attacking piece in the position, which is that bishop. It's a deadly bishop. It has to go. And I can force the bishop off. Knight takes bishop. Okay, so now I've got rid of the problem. Now I can castle. I've still got a problem. I've still got a problem. And but I can solve the problem with d6. Okay? Now I'm actually threatening something. What am I threatening here? Well, I'm threatening to hit the queen. Right? That's what I want to do. I want to hit the queen. But first I want to push this pawn. Can I push it twice? No, it's not good. I'm going to castle. I'm going to castle. Then I'll push the pawn. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to push the pawn on the knight. Okay, that's my plan. Push the pawn on the knight. Now I can hit the queen, or I can move my knight back. That's okay, right? So I've got the benefit of something. Okay, so he's going there, right? So I could take his knight, but his knight's badly placed. So if his knight's badly placed, why take it? I think I've got to take it. I'm going to take it. I want to take his knight. I'm going to hit his queen. I'm hitting his queen. If he took with the bishop, the pawn takes, then I don't have to worry about being challenged, right? Physically challenged. I can play knight here now. Now, the beauty of playing knight there is that now I can play F5, right? And now I can get my pieces working a little bit on the queen side again. You remember, this file is like a semi-open file. I can play knight here. That threatens knight check wins the queen, right? Lots of beginners will just miss the check, right? So he's 1188. Georgie, his name is. Georgie Teji 1 from Spain, right? He's a conquistador. He's a conquistador from España. And guess what he did? He missed the check. And examine all checks and captures. Remember that basic rule. How many times have I said that today? Next match. How many times have I said that today? I'd like $1, 50 cents even, for every time I've said examine all checks and captures. Dusting and Flying remembers. G'day Hawaii Pant Pizza. I should tell these players here in this channel that we're live on Twitch. Copy. Put that in the message there. Edit. Paste. Enter. And so then now they know live on Twitch. Right, so then they can see what we're doing here. So we're playing Pawns Knight Session. He's 14-16. We play D6, D3. We're trying to stop him just getting an early mark with an attack. And we're playing D6 now. And we're just going to finish it of that bishop. He's got a good game. He's an attacking player. It's a problem. Attacking players are always a problem. Or castle. I've got to work out what to do with my knight, right? What to do with my knight. I can play E5. It's an unusual move. It's an awkward move, but it's got to be played correctly, right? If it's not played correctly, it can be a pain in the butt. So I can play D5 now, okay? So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to burst through the centre. If he's attacking on the wing, you have to burst through the centre. This is logical chess, okay? You've got to burst through the centre. So he's taking that way. Should I take with a pawn? I'll take with a H pawn. There is a problem that there's mating attacks there on my king side with knight G5 and all the rest of it. But I've got time on my side. As the great man once said, who was the great man? The great man, time is on my side. Well, he wasn't that great. I'm talking about Rolling Stones. Okay, now in this position, I want to do something. I'm going to play queen here, right? Why am I going to play queen there? Because I don't like my position. I don't like my position. I'm not happy, and I don't want to get checkmated, so I'm going to change queens, even though I get a bad ending. Because I'll tell you why. I'm not worried about bad endings. I've got so much unmitigated confidence in my own endings that I'm going to play bishop here. Now this is, I'm going to go in for complications here. Oh, he's going there. I'll take that. Now I'll push the pawn. Now I'm happy to push the pawn. I've got to get my pawns going, right? Oh, I'll take that. Now I've got him. Bishop takes pawn check. Pawn wall. Fortification of the pawn wall, of course. Of course. You knew, didn't you guys? You knew what I was talking about. Okay, so now we've just got B6. That'll fix that. Now I've got 5 pawns against 4. And 5 pawns against 4, we should win. His bishop is zeroed. You notice his bishop hasn't got squares to move to. This is what I'm really all about in this position. I'm about nullifying the power of his knight. All right, I don't want his knight to be all powerful. Now I've got 2 passed pawns, right? Should I choose to push? I must push, because pushing pawns is the correct way to play in these positions. So what do you do here? King G7. Why King G7? Well, I should be pushing the pawn, shouldn't I? Well, let's put the rooks behind the passed pawns. Rooks go behind passed pawns too. So putting our rooks behind our passed pawns, now we're going to push our passed pawns. Oh, he took that one. I'll push that one. I didn't even see that he was on that. But fortunately, when you do the right thing and you put your rooks behind your passed pawns, you win. Okay? Even though he could take my rook, he's still lost. Okay? And now we win. He can't stop the queen. Okay? You can have a little check or something like that. But unfortunately, Pawn's Night session is all over. So we take that rook, we make a queen. And then he looks at the position, he says, oh no, he's going to check me. And that's, of course, what we already calculated about 3 minutes ago. And that's the end of the game. So that's all about knowing how to play endgames. I didn't see my bishop was on, but I did the right things, the fundamental correct things, putting rooks behind passed pawns and pushing them. Right? And that's what you do in endgames. And that's how you win games. He's a real rosser because he's not resigning. Right, so next match. I asked him to resign. I put a note there. G'day, Julesy. Julesy says, the killer instinct of Kasparov, the cunning patience of Capablanca. It's Filet Master Johnny Curtis. Oh, gee, I'm going to have a heart attack. Anyway, I'm coming second of 854 players, and I've got to pull the finger out. Here we go. Pawn takes pawn. We've got 11 minutes and 28 seconds to come first. Where's this guy coming first? I want to play the guy that's coming first. He must have won a lot of games. I've probably already beaten him. Now, this is interesting. Diwanagal is playing chess. I'm pushing all my pawns forwards. I'm getting all my pieces working while this person's fiddling around. That's right. And have a look at their development. They've got no development. I missed the best move then. Queen checks was a killer. Absolute killer. But I can still do it. It wins. And why? Because why does it win? I've got one knight. 2 knights out, I've got a bishop out, and as Julesy says, boom, 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 I've got the killer instinct of Kasparov, the cunning patience of Capablanca. That's what I've got. And I've also got checkmate. Next, please. We're coming second of 865 players, and some dirty little dog is coming first. And I don't seem to be able to catch him. So I've got to win games really quickly. The only way to catch him, because he must have started earlier than me, so the only way to catch him is to win games really quickly and get some quick wins. Quick wins. How do you do that? Anyway, we're trying to get some quick wins. Put the knight there. We've seen this before. Get the bishop over here. Take that rotten thing off. C3. I don't know about that one. Knight there. 96. Okay. Knight takes here. That was nice of you. Thank you. Oh, bishop takes pawn. That's juicy. I want a pawn. Well, he gave me a pawn anyway. I'll take the knight because that leaves me with a good knight versus bad bishop. So once we've got that position, all we've got to do is queen our pawns, okay? I'm going to show you, very instructive. Watch how fast this happens. Queen to d3. a4. b4. b4. Pawns are going. How many pawns? Right, 2 passed pawns because he doesn't know what he's doing. And what are passed pawns? What are you supposed to do with passed pawns? You're supposed to push them, aren't you? So we push them. That's right, we push the passed pawns. Push the passed pawns. What do you do with passed pawns? You push them. Oh, there's a knight fork there. Okay, well, we'll take a rook off. We don't really want to take a rook, but we can't help ourselves. We'll rip it off. And what do we do with passed pawns? We push them. That's what we do. What do you do with passed pawns? What do you do with passed pawns? Push them. Put the queen in there. Say, hey, what's that queen doing? Do you want to swap queens? Because we want to push our pawns. Here, you can have my queen. I don't need it. I don't need the stupid queen. Push the passed pawns. What do we do with passed pawns? What do we do? What do we do, Jules, with passed pawns? Come on, Jules. Tell me. Tell the people in the chat. What do we do with passed pawns, Jules? We push them. That's what we do. That's what we do with passed pawns, Jules. We push them. Push them, you see? I'm still pushing me passed pawns. Right, now we take the queen off. Now this time we don't push the passed